guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our Saturday Stash Busters, and I'm back here with a little kind of kit thing, or remnants of a kit that I've had for absolutely ages in my stash, I have to say. Now again, this is another item from that company called Kanban, which I've talked about before, and again I will just say I don't know whether that company still exists. I have no idea, I'm afraid. But this is a kind of little, it's a card making set really, you know, loosely scrapbooking I suppose, but card making predominantly, little set. And what you got was you got these card blanks, and then you got kind of toppers and, you know, various different pieces. So I'm just going to pop out the, you know, the card making bits here. So straight away then I can, you know, get rid of obviously the, you know, these cut out edges. So there we go. Now I have got a little box that I keep for card making, so things like this I'm going to just put to one side because, you know, I can then use them for card making. So I'm just going to kind of put them to one side. But what I'm interested in really are these you know, the card making blanks, i.e., you know, the base pieces really. So let me just take these all out. There we go, and yep, get rid of that. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, so that's those two, and then I've got two more here. So like I say, I mean, this was a bigger pack, but obviously this is like the remnants that I've got left. So, you know, I've obviously used this, you know, in card making and things, and these are just the, you know, the bits and pieces that I've now got left. So let's again take this out. Okay, like that. I've just got these like edge strips. I mean, personally, I probably wouldn't really use these because they, to me, do not look very vintage with the metallics. So I would, yeah, perhaps give them to my daughter. This one I'm more likely to use because it's got the with love and things like that. So I can put that in with my card making stuff. These I'm going to just give to my daughter that she can craft with. And then this one, exactly the same. Just going to take this one, give that to my daughter. So here I've obviously got a little strip that I can just trim straight off because, you know, that's going to be, yeah, not necessary. Now this again, it's got this holographic card, which I'm not, you know, not really overly keen on for our kind of the way we make things. So I'm going to cut this down, getting rid of that edge strip, but also going in, hopefully getting rid of quite a bit of that hologram. I could go right in, to be honest. I mean, that feels very wasteful, but again, you know, if that's going to make it more usable, then it's less wasteful, if you see what I mean, because it's going from then something I wouldn't use to something I could potentially use. So I've cut off all the holographic stuff. I've just got holographic here, and I've got holographic down the bottom. But, you know, we might be able to get rid of that anyway. So, again, take this. And I'm going to do the same with this one. So go in and just take off that whole holographic side. Actually, just cut that down a bit narrower. Just I didn't you know, make a very good edge, you know, straight edge or anything. Now these ones, you can probably see, these have got holographic all around the edge. So I'm just going to cut, fold this over, and then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to trim it straight down on those edges. So this edge here, and then the bottom edge. Oops. Again, not making a great job of cutting this, but you know, it doesn't really matter, because obviously we're just, you know, we're just making a junk journal. We are not making, you know, something that's going to be hung in a gallery. I know I say it all the time, but you know, I do genuinely believe that, and kind of think, you know, you can spend too long striving for perfection, and actually what you're going to end up with then is something you're never going to be happy with, you know, because you probably feel like it will never, you know, meet your kind of set standards. So just kind of go with the flow and think, you know, that's fine, it's good enough. So like that. Right, let's get rid of all of these bits and pieces. Now I'm just wondering whether I do want to get rid of this holographic edge. I don't know. I mean, it's not too bad, to be honest. I think this one, maybe I want to bring back in. I don't know. It's probably okay, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by coffee dyeing these. So that, again, they just become a little bit more, you know, user-friendly, as in what we, you know, how we like to use them. Now, I've got a decorative edge strip here. So definitely straight away use this somewhere. So yeah, let me bring in my coffee dye. And I'm just going to bring in a wipe. I know I've talked about this recently, but you know, I just find actually that my wet wipe is the quickest way to coffee dye something. So just coffee dye all of that. Again, want to coffee dye the inside because I'm making little foldy outs. Just because obviously that, you know, that's what these were intended for. They had the fold line down in them already. So, you know, it naturally kind of made sense to, you know, go with how they were originally planned, if you see what I mean. So, you know, why reinvent the wheel? They were meant to be little fold cards, you know, might as well just keep them as little folded pieces now. Oops, not made a good job of this. Okay, oh my goodness, I'm making a worse and worse job of this. So, right, let's just go down like that. Okay, and this one, maybe we should wipe the table down and maybe that would kind of eliminate some of these problems. Okay, like that. So, I mean, straight away, just coffee dyeing them has kind of like altered the overall look of them, hasn't it? And, you know, so they straight away look a bit more usable, you know, as something that we would like to use them for. So, yeah. Okay. And then just go along here. I don't even know if I'm going to use this, but I might as well just, I mean, to be honest, this is quite dark. It's not really, yeah, not really kind of, you know, doing much by coffee dyeing it, but anyway, we'll go on. Okay, get rid of that coffee dye now. And actually, I've just got these couple of butterflies, which are probably going to cut these out. So I'm just going to coffee dye those. And I'm just going to go through the pack and see if there's any bits that I'd like to use. Because obviously most of these bits I will probably save for card making things. But any butterflies or anything, then I can just cut those out, to be honest, and we can use them, you know, on here, you know, as it is. So again, just got another butterfly here. Yeah, and the rest obviously I will just keep for card making. So, but again, you know, that's a whole nother pack now that I've eliminated from my desk. So, well, I mean, not that it was on my desk, but you know, from my cupboard. So from storage, it's no longer cluttering up my space. So it's all a win, really. Right, okay. So these are my little blanks now. So just going to put them back on. They're just resting on my hot glue gun because I always find that quite a good way to actually, you know, dry things out, to be honest. It seems to work quite well for drying things, I find. Right, now on here, let's just have a look and see what we could mix this with. So I've got some of my fussy cut flowers here. Just see. I've got some of my damask papers. So, yeah, let's just bring some of those in. Because what we want to do is just kind of vintage this up, really. So I am thinking, unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut this holographic edge off because I'm finding it very distracting, apart from anything else. So, I mean, that's a bit of a shame because that's quite a large chunk of that. But that being said, you know, if it's got to go, it's got to go. So, and I'm just going to trim that down now slightly because otherwise it was looking a bit of a rubbish shape. Okay. Okay, like that. So straight away, it's, you know, it's more usable. I just that holographic kind of edge was just throwing me off and making it feel, you know, a bit unusable. Oh, my punch doesn't want to go through, I think, because it's still a bit soggy. Let's see if I can do it through one side. Okay, and then here I'm just going to try and round that corner now that I've got the sort of line to follow. Okay, oops. Again, not made a great job of that, but you know, it will do. It will do. So I might not even round the other edges. I might just leave it like that. And then, yeah, let's take this. Now, I'm just wondering, got this, she's from my, I can't remember the kit that she's from. Oh, I don't know. She's not the Pink Ladies. Something Paris, I feel like, but I could be completely wrong. So I'm thinking go in with some of the damask. That would look rather pretty on here. So just going to go in here. Now I'm just using kind of scraps and things that are laying around on the desk, trying not to overthink it too much. You know, obviously we are kind of scrap busting. So yeah, I want to kind of try and, you know, get rid of bits that are floating about generally off the desk, not just kind of, you know, keep pulling in extra things, because of course that's not really kind of scrap busting then, is it? So let's just go in here like that. Okay, right, that's nice. She can go on there. Now obviously I've got more pieces of paper, so let's just have a look. Not really quite right, is it? Got some more of my damask papers. Honestly, these damask papers, they just come in so handy. So just going to squish that down there. Okay. So let me know below, are you scrap busting along with me? If you are, how's it going? Are you making much of a dent in your scraps? Are you, you know, is it slow going? How's the progress coming along? You know, I'd love to hear how it's going for you. And I mean, to be honest, you know, slow progress or not, it's still progress, isn't it? So I mean, it still is, you know, it still is good, even if it feels like it's, you know, slow going to you. It's still better than not doing it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just putting these next to each other so that I can go around and rough these up. Now I'm putting them next to each other because they're not copy paper, they're slightly thicker than copy paper, but they're still pretty thin. So I'm just thinking if I put them next to each other, it makes them a little bit kind of tougher to be able to kind of go around and rough the edges. You know, whereas if they're just single bits of paper, they're quite flimsy and, you know, I'm likely to just, you know, tear them. I have just torn that piece even though I'm doing this. So yeah, but I don't mind it being a bit torn. That's all fine. So like that. Okay, so that looks very pretty, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go around and ink these up. I'm going to ink it down here. I want it to look quite grungy. So again, kind of going in and, you know, really kind of bending those corners or those edges up, if you can see. So as we get in a really good kind of distressed look on there. Love how that looks. That's so lovely and yummy, isn't it? And we'll just do that with this one. Okay. Oh, love the crumpled kind of effect here. And then what I'm going to do is just go around the edge of here with my base piece and, you know, make that super distressed as well. So really kind of roughing up the edges. Okay, and then just again going in you know, hopefully again, sort of, I'm not screwing them up, I can't really describe, but, you know, bringing them in slightly as well. So I'm going to do the back as well, because this would probably be a pull-out piece in a journal. So we just go around the back as well, like that. And then, you know, can go around the inside. It's not really essential. So I've got bits everywhere now from where I've, you know, heavily distressed that. Okay, so this is going to go down like this. Oh my goodness, how yummy does this look? Oh, I love that scrumpled up kind of distressed look. So just gluing my layers down. Now you can probably see I'm not taking my glue right to the edge, because I want my pages crumpled up a little bit at the edges. I don't want them kind of like really flat. I want them to look a little bit, you know, screwed up really. Not screwed up, but, you know, yeah, crumpled at the edges. So if I'd have gone right to the edges and kind of pressed it flat, then of course that's not going to have that effect. So, you know, I just wanted to kind of leave it as flat, raised as possible. Now, this piece here, obviously, you know, it's not quite the same. I'm not, you know, I haven't done that around the edges, so I can go right to the edge with here, or with this. So just press that one down like that. Now I'm wondering if I could maybe use some buckles or something here. So I'm not sure I got any left now. This is where I discover I've got none left. Oh, that's such a shame, because that would have been absolutely scrumptious. Okay. Oh, love how that looks though. So maybe something like that, and then just going to bring in this lace, which I know again, you know, seems like a strange colour choice, doesn't it? But oh my goodness, how yummy does that colour look? So I'm just going to take this down. Could have some hanging out the bottom, so let me just take this down, just a little portion of it, and we can just decide how we want this, because we could just have a little bit running out, you know, not running out, but coming out at the bottom. Oh, that's really pretty. Yeah, that's really, really pretty. Okay, so let me just then take this down here. Or maybe even at the edge, like that. Oh, I don't know. It does look very pretty like this. So maybe kind of have it like that. So I'm putting it lopsided, so it's covering up that hologram, you know, the holographic paper. So like that. And it's just then, you know, covering that up a bit, like that. Okay, now this little topper, just then going to hot glue this down. Now again, just hot gluing this partly because it's going over that lace. So, you know, it's just going to help it glue to that lace a bit. But also just because, you know, I want to just be quick gluing that down. Oh my goodness, how scrumptious does that piece look? And then I'm thinking, so again, just going with the, you know, what's laying around the desk. Got a little bow here. Also got these flowers. Now these flowers, obviously the purpose really is to cover up any other little holographic kind of evidence, you know. So that's why I'm just popping that down there, because it's just going to then cover up that little holographic kind of spot that was slightly still visible. Okay, and then just my bow. Just pop that down there. And then this little flower here, just a sort of flower trim. Where do I want it? On that flower? I mean, to be honest, I don't know, is it even really needs one at all? Maybe it doesn't really need it. So, oh my goodness, that's such a pretty piece, isn't it? I absolutely love that. And then of course on the inside, I can just fill that with some extra pages for journaling, you know, or just like a couple of little pockets. But basically that's just another little piece that I can tuck into a journal. So that's the first one. Let's do another one. So this one, let's just again round the corners. Oops, I might have to do them again one at a time. Maybe the card's just too thick to go through the corner rounder individually, I don't know. But again, what I'll do is just kind of mark it so that I've got the markings and I can then cut those corners down to size. So, yeah, let me just put my glasses on. Okay, 1 and 2, yep. Okay, right, so we've got, again, shades of pink. So again, we're working with the kind of pinks. So again, I can use this damask paper, which, you know, brilliant, because I'm, you know, if I'm not pulling in anything extra, again, I'm just using the same old pieces. Not creating more scraps, oops, or more, yeah, more scraps that would be laying around. I'm being good. I'm using things that are here already, which is a good thing to do, isn't it? So, oh, that's a bit thick for there. Oh well, never mind. Right, so let's just take that. And obviously, again, you know, if you're scrap busting with me, you know, you could use anything for this. So I have used obviously this card making kit, but you could use card blanks for things like this. You know, maybe you've got some smallish card blanks. You could use, you know, if you've ever bought in the past, you know, where you get those, oh, what would you call them? You know, like the little thank you card sets, those types of things. Oh, this is pretty, isn't it? You could use things like that, and then, right, just gauging where that needs to be. You could use things like that, and then, sorry, just needed to focus and concentrate a little bit. Yeah, you know the way you get those little thank you card sets and all of those kinds of things. You could use those as your base for your little kind of fold out pieces. I mean, basically what we're doing is just using, you know, little blanks to make sort of pull out pieces to put, you know, inside kind of journals. So there we go. I'm just thinking I'm going to take that down slightly more over on this edge, just because otherwise I feel like I haven't really got much pink showing. So, and then again, what I'm going to do is just put these up beside each other to rough them up. Oops. I have torn them completely now, so yep, imagine the damage I'd do if I hadn't put them together. Mind boggles, to be honest, but okay. Like that. Okay, so again, what I'm going to do is just quite heavily ink this. You know, I want it again looking quite distressed, so let's just take my distress ink, go around, you know, and just like we did on the last one, so kind of getting that really crumpled in effect there. So yeah, like that. Okay, like that. And then exactly the same here with this pink. Like that. Okay. Then we can glue those down on top of each other. And again, just, you know, exactly like we did with the last one, not going kind of right up to those edges. So hopefully then I've got the gap around the edge, you know, where it's kind of not, yeah, lifted, I suppose, would be the description, I think, is what I'm trying to say. So again, press that down. Oops. Okay. Bring in my card blank and go around there, you know, just again making that really nice and distressed, much more kind of vintage and tatty looking than it was. Oops. Okay. And then again, just really kind of like ink that up around the edges. I love this really roughed up edge look. I know it's not kind of everybody's cup of tea, but I do really like it. And I just think it makes things so much more interesting. You know, they look very, yeah, just much more interesting to look at, don't they? So now, I'm just wondering, I know this is a very strange choice, and you know, you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, what's she thinking? But I just happen to have this flower here, and I thought, well, actually, let's just give this a try. So I'm just going to kind of like, just loosely kind of kiss cutting this. So, I mean, it is actually much smaller than this card blank anyway, so it might just look really, you know, silly size wise. So, but we'll just try it and see, just because it happened to be there really. So I thought, well, actually, you know, maybe it's there for a reason. Maybe it's just kind of showing itself because it's the piece to use. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's, yeah, it's not really quite right size-wise, is it? It's, yeah, probably not really the right piece to use from a size point of view. Let me just take this piece down. Okay. So this is just from my Opulent Teal kit. And you've got all these wonderful images, vintage pictures here. So again, it was just laying around on the desk, and I thought, well, let's just give this one a try. Oh, that's a shame, isn't it? Because it's a little bit wide. I mean, I could take that down. Obviously, I could cut into it and make it smaller, and then it would fit. Yeah, we could do that, I suppose. I mean, it seems a bit of a shame, but that would be, you know, one way to get it to work. Or, actually, I've just now seen, again, just using things that are laying around. I have got these stamped, faux stamped images. Now, these are my faux stamped images set 1. Now, I'm not sure, I've got to be truthful, if this colour set is actually available. This may have been while I was trying to get them right, and this might not actually be, you know, one of the colour sets that you actually get in the faux stamped images. But it was just laying around on the desk, and I thought, well, let's just pull it in and give this a try. So let's just see. So, oh, she's quite nice, isn't she, on there? She's just all round a better shape, isn't she? You know, that other piece, it wasn't long enough. It was too wide. It just, yeah, it wasn't kind of like fitting size-wise or shape-wise. So this looks much better, doesn't it? Okay. Yeah. So again, just heavily ink this around the sides, where I've now roughed that up. Okay. Oh my goodness, I love how that looks. So yeah, really pretty, isn't it? Now I'm just having a look because I've got these flowers here. Again, I don't know whether this may be, you know, a strange addition, but let's just have a look and see. So I'm just going to go around these, kind of kiss cutting, but slightly more than kiss cutting, if you see what I mean. So I am kiss cutting them, but leaving a little bit less of a white edge than, you know, typically you would get perhaps with a kiss cut piece. Just really waffling on, sorry. Right. Okay. Okie dokie. Right, there we go. Well, some uneven kiss cutting going on there, I must say. Not great with the kiss cutting. Okay, go round that, ink it up. These are just the you know, vintage fussy cut flowers that are in my shop, but I just wondered how that would look. Now, I've got to be honest, I wouldn't mind it, but I don't like this turquoise flower and this one. I know that just sounds like a ridiculous thing to say. I mean, they're literally tiny, but they're big enough to be, you know, yeah, making me not feel very happy seeing them, unfortunately. So let's just see what we could do about getting rid of those. So I've just got this blue lace here. So we could have that running down the side. I feel like it's not really tatty enough. I feel like I would like something tattier. So let me just have a quick look through my lace that's behind my desk. Sorry about this, just seeing whether I've got any kind of tattier lace really. Oh, I have got this pink, which looks like it's quite a good colour match. Right, let me just bring this in. I'm just going to cut that portion down. Okay. I mean, definitely colour-wise, this one's quite nice, isn't it? I don't know. Right, let me just cut this down, you know, in terms of width, because it's quite wide at the moment, which of course it doesn't need to be. So, thinking, could have that running right the way down the edge like that. That would go on there. And then we could have maybe that flower up there. If I positioned it right, we'd just about cover up that, you know, entire bit of blue. Now, I don't know now whether I'm overly happy with that kind of green on there from the leaves on the flower. So let me just take another one, because I'm thinking, well, if I had two, maybe I would feel a bit, you know, a bit more like it's got a place there. Whereas at the moment, it's kind of like, oh, where's that green come from? So let's just take this one. And just, yeah, take this one down. Okay. Okie dokie, nearly done, sorry about this. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking, you know, then if we had two similar flowers, then, you know, would that kind of make it work? I mean, it might and it might not. We don't know. Don't know unless we try it. So again, ink around there. I don't know. Can't decide. Let me just glue this down because yeah, I do like the pink lace running down the side. So we just pop that down. And to me, that's the bit that definitely, you know, it doesn't look very vintage, having that turquoise. So yeah, like that. Now I'm going to put this down. So again, just going to hot glue this because it's going over the lace. So I want it to glue down on the lace portion especially. Okay, like that. Okay, and actually I think I've nearly covered up the whole of that turquoise flower anyway, to be honest. So it's probably, yeah, it doesn't probably even matter too much. Right, let's put her down now. I quite liked her to the side. What do we think? She's probably better in the middle, I don't know. I thought it was a bit more interesting having her to the side. Should we do that? Like that, and then just see. We could have, you know, one of those flowers up there and one, say, down there or on there. Oh, I don't know. It's a bit weird, isn't it? I'm just wondering whether we could have then butterfly. Just really because obviously those butterflies, you know, I had from the, you know, the little fussy cut pack, and we just kind of coffee dyed them, and yeah, I didn't use them. So I'm just thinking, well, actually, you know, could we use those? I don't know what I did with the other one. Oh, here we go. So I have got a couple of butterflies that we could use. Oh, I don't know. Not really quite brave enough to use those flowers, to be honest. It's just crazy, isn't it? I don't really feel like, yeah, I'm quite brave enough to use them, unfortunately. Because actually, I think, you know, they probably do look okay, but there's something kind of stopping me from doing it. Boring, really. Just very boring. Right, I'm going to just ruffle this lace up here at the bottom. You know, just so as we've got some other interest going on, really. Like that, and just check. I know, I'm so sorry. I keep bringing these flowers back in, and I'm annoying myself if it's any consolation. But yeah, just want to make absolutely sure that I'm doing the right thing and not using them. Oh dear. Right. So I've got these pink flower trims. Let's just see. Oops. Just going to ink this up actually. Just because otherwise it was a bit of a bright flower. So just by inking it, it looks a little bit more authentically vintage, which is obviously what we're more going for. Even though these are sort of holographic butterflies, which of course is not very vintage, but they look pretty, don't they? So I don't really mind that they've got the hologram type stuff on them. They, you know, they at least do look pretty, don't they? So yeah, let's just pop that one down onto this side. Okay, and then, oh, I'm just having a look because I've got some labels here, so I just want to see if I might want to have a little label somewhere on here as well. Oh, could you hear the little doggy there? Yeah, my dog's in the room with us, and she likes to groan if you disturb her, so obviously my voice is just disturbing her a little bit. It's just, you know, oh, be quiet, I'm trying to sleep. As if she's so tired, so tired. Oh. Right, let's just have a look. Yeah, I mean, that's probably a bit big, but actually it doesn't look too bad. Oh, let's go for that, yeah. So this is just one of my labels from my labels set 2. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of finishes that off, doesn't it? So yeah, it looks pretty. Okay, right. So yes, very unfortunately, I have only done 2. I've been abysmally slow today. But I'm just having a look. I think it says 48 minutes, but I could be wrong, but I feel like that's what it says. So I'm going to have to cut it short there because we probably haven't got time to do a third one at the slow rate that I'm going. But I've only got obviously these 2 now left to go, and what I will do is obviously cut this holographic bit down and cut that down again, and then this one similarly, so that we can just make, or you know, I will just make kind of another 2 very similar to these, that I can then just pull in to use for a journal. And like I say, on the inside you could either just use them exactly as they are for pull out pieces, or you could put pockets in here, you know, you could put extra pages in here, but they're just kind of then finished off and ready to use, aren't they? And then the rest of that little kit, I will just obviously put in with my card making things. I've got the couple of strips here that I'm going to just give to my daughter for her crafting. But yeah, that's another thing gone from my stash that I had obviously been, you know, keeping endlessly. So it's all good. It's all kind of whittling it down gradually. So yeah, I hope that you liked the pieces that we made today. Hopefully you feel inspired to maybe get some of your old stash out. Like I say, you could make things, you know, like this using, you know, like if you've got those thank you card sets and things like that, you know, you could use those types of things to make this type of thing. And then, you know, you just put them in your stash and you've got them then ready to either slot into a pocket or to use, you know, glue that onto a page as a little pocket kind of book piece as well. So, you know, it's all good kind of work, and it's all using things up, isn't it? So yeah, I really hope that you like them, and yeah, hope you feel inspired. Let me know below if you are stash busting with me every Saturday, and if you are, how is it going? Are you kind of getting through your stash, or are you like me and being pretty slow going? But hopefully get there eventually. So yeah, I'd love to hear, and yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks then. Bye.